Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
My good friend Kevin sent me a note yesterday. Said, Steve, did you see this story about the Tempe police grappling with a car? And my first thought was, wait, what? Grapple? The verb grapple? Yes. Turns out that if you watch a lot of police videos on YouTube of chases, there's a lot of them. You can watch high-speed chases all day long, and they can be fascinating. But one of the frustrating things you'll notice is that a police car can often pull right up behind somebody they're chasing, and then the car can speed off again. And so apparently a guy watching those, like us, decided to do something about it and came up with an invention to help the police stop a car if they can get close to it like that. But of course, it's early technology, and things can go wrong. And the police grappled the wrong car. But it's a fascinating story. From ABC15.com, Nicole Gregg wrote this out of Tempe. A police officer there chasing a suspect deployed a grappler to try and stop the vehicle, but records show it was the wrong car. And the grappler is an interesting device because what it is, it's something that's on the front of the police car. And when they want to deploy it, it flips down, and it actually has these things that hold out this netting, like webbing. And the police car, if they can get up to the car they're chasing, they jam the webbing underneath one of the tires. And then the webbing gets caught in the tire and spins around the tire, and it will cause the car to slow down, possibly stop. But if not, the police car can then back up, and they've tethered the car they're chasing. So if it works just right, it's pretty cool. It'll allow them to shorten a police chase and reduce a lot of dangerous situations. But of course, it only works if they grapple the right car. Records obtained by the TV station showed the vehicle that was mistaken for the suspects was the same color, make, model, and had the same number of doors. So they had a description of the car, just not the license plate. So a grappler is a device used by the police in an attempt to stop a moving vehicle, which deploys from the front of a police car and attaches to the suspect vehicle's back tire. The pursuit was back in 2023, but it's taken nearly a year for the police department to release the body camera video through a public records request. Now, it turns out they don't have video of the grappler being deployed because they didn't have a dash cam, but they had cameras of what happened after that. So the Tempe police were assisting Maricopa County for an aggravated assault suspect, and they were apparently in the town of Guadalupe. A report by a detective with Tempe's Action and Response Squad said while approaching the area, the radio became overwhelmed with different officers attempting to give out locations and directions. That's when an officer located a white Buick Verano, which matched the description of the suspect vehicle. Now, there's no video of this happening. Like I said, there's no dash cam. But body camera footage shows an officer with his gun drawn telling a woman to step out of her vehicle. He says, "You don't need to be scared." And he goes on to yell commands such as, "Put your hands on top of your head when you come out." And then when asked if anybody inside the car, she goes, "Yeah, my daughter." And at that point, the officer says, "Oh, shoot." But he didn't say shoot. He used a different vowel. As an officer tells the woman to keep walking, another officer says they need to get the daughter out of the car because apparently the grappler deployment punctured the gas tank. And again, this is the wrong vehicle. But now they punctured the gas tank of this car they grappled. So the officer says if there's gas leaking and the daughter is in there, let's get her out. Now, Tempe police say no one was injured, which is a good thing because, high-speed chases, often people do get injured. The body camera video captured one of the officers raising concerns about the pursuit. He says he texted another officer telling him, "That's sloppy. I pulled my guys away. Just sloppy. We have too many units." So apparently there's too many chefs working in the kitchen at that moment, so to speak. A legal director at the ACLU of Arizona reviewed the footage at the request of the TV station. He said that should scare anybody because what this says is if you happen to have a car that looks like a car the police are searching for, you might be violently stopped in this way as well. According to the report, the man inside the vehicle that was mistakenly stopped told officers they were taking a detour because the highway was closed and they may have been speeding because he was in a rush to get someplace. And so the ACLU guy says, this is why there are license plates that individualize vehicles and can allow the police to determine whether it's an actual vehicle they're looking for or not. Now, the video released to the TV station is completely blurred by the Tempe Police Department. Spokesperson said that their policy is to place a blur on the video to protect information like that. Spokesperson of the city of Tempe said the risk management department did pay a reimbursement of more than $500 to the driver. So not sure what it cost to get the gas tank repaired or what other kind of damage was done to the car. As for the incident, no officers were disciplined, but a spokesperson of the department said they did receive further training on properly identifying suspect vehicles. So I went and looked this up because I thought, wow, the grappling event happened in 2023, which means the entire year of 2024 passed without me even knowing these things exist. I don't often brag about my own ignorance, but this is something I didn't know these existed. So I looked it up, and it turns out a guy invented this thing that uses 2-inch nylon webbing with a 20,000-pound test strength, and the webbing forms a ladder of sorts. The sides of the ladder are about 5 feet long and consist of doubled-up webbing with metal rings that connect to rungs that are 52 inches wide. The frontmost rung includes some pads to improve tire engagement in the rain. The tether connecting the webbing to the police vehicle varies in length to suit the particular agency's needs. The typical extended length is 30 to 40 feet. So in other words, they can grapple the car and then back away. And so in case you're curious how this thing reaches the bad guy's car or gal, at the press of a button in the police vehicle, 2 vertical bars hinge downward. Gas struts then fold open a second length of steel in each bar, pulling the net ladder out of its stowage cubby and into position. The grappler itself, the entire system, weighs 180 pounds. The police vehicle then drives up behind the suspect, needing only 7 inches of ground clearance at the back of the vehicle, after which the contraption can ride down the bodywork to a lower clearance at the wheelhouse. A 5-mile-per-hour closing speed is enough to engage the grappler on a tire. Then the net typically tangles and ties itself to the rear axle, stopping the wheel and often rendering the vehicle undrivable. Even if the wheel isn't stopped, the police vehicle can typically brake it to a stop, unless, of course, the offending vehicle is some monstrosity that severely outweighs the police car. The tether can be released at any point if the police wish to increase the distance, or, of course, if the car is driving off a cliff. A grappler arrest sometimes damages hydraulic brake lines, parking brake cables, ABS electronics, brake backing plates, and other equipment around the rear wheel. But, of course, taxpayers don't pay that. That's just a part of the cost of doing business as someone trying to evade the police. Your car is going to get damaged. And quite often those cars wind up getting flipped anyways, so it's a small price to pay. So far, the grappler has been engineered to fit the Chevy Tahoe and also a Dodge Charger Pursuit vehicle. Installing a new grappler costs $5,000, which includes training. Replacing a spent net costs $400 because these things aren't reusable. That is, the netting isn't. Units started shipping last November, and at press time, 75 have been sold, though not all are deployed yet. Those in use have made 29 safe captures, only one of which included a bit of damage to the police vehicle. Grappler arrest videos may be boring compared to the good old chase videos, but they won't keep you up at night wondering what could be done about this, which is what the inventor thought when he came up with this. So the description of the grappler there is from Motor Trend. Motor Trend did the article that I found, and you can now find videos on the internet of police cars grappling cars they're chasing to a stop. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I never would have imagined this, but then again, I'm not an inventor. And I watched some of the videos and photographs and descriptions of these things. It's a pretty cool idea. And I've seen chases that have lasted for very, very long periods of time. In fact, in California, in Los Angeles in particular, they'll break into whatever's on TV and show live coverage of a police chase because people would probably rather watch that than Sally Jesse Raphael. Purposely dating myself. I thought that was funny. I'm sorry. But so you know, you're watching Dr. Oz, and all of a sudden they bust into a police chase, and there's a helicopter flying overhead as some cars driving maniacally 30 miles an hour over the speed limit through residential zones and then the wrong way down the freeway and smashing other cars. And you wish there was some way to make that stop. And apparently they've got it, but once in a while it backfires. So here's the thing. This is not the worst case of police misconduct on the planet. Did the police make a mistake? Yes. But how big was the mistake? Well, $500. And keep in mind that if that police chase had simply gone the way of most police chases and zipping around, other people could have gotten seriously hurt. So if this is the worst thing that happens is they accidentally grapple the wrong car and then pay to have it fixed, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So it's interesting, but to me, the real news here was there's a thing called a grappler. I did not know that. So Kevin, thanks for sending that. From abc15.com, Nicole Grigg wrote it. Tempe police mistakenly grappled the wrong car during a pursuit, according to records. But hey, the injuries were only to the car. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. When your work speaks for itself, don't interrupt.